My next guest tonight, joining me here on Punky's MixTape, hailing out of Providence, Rhode Island, my old stomping grounds. We're here tonight with the band Discordance. How we doing, everybody?
Great. How you doing?
Doing great tonight. Can't complain. Thanks for coming to hang out with us.
Thank you. Stoked to be on it.
Well, what was that?
Stoked to be on it.
Well, we appreciate you coming to hang out. We really do.
Hell yeah.
For my mixtapers that may not be familiar, introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about the band.
Sure. My name's Matt. I play guitar and I sing.
My name is Mark. I'm a bassist.
And yeah, we're Discordance. Basically, we got besides me and him, it's my producer actually of the EP is playing lead guitar for us now. And we're just kind of practicing as a 3-piece, getting ready for when things are good to go, whenever that is.
What kind of band are you?
I would describe it as emo rock. The EP that's out now for everybody, it's called Disconnect My Brain, is very heavily pop punk influenced, which is kind of what I was raised on. It's what I wanted to do. I had always been in a little bit of heavier kind of bands. So I kind of wanted to go back to not my roots really, but what I used to love. So I combined that with what I love now, which is really emo, chill stuff. And that's pretty much how that whole thing came together. Those two genres are like my major influence.
Coming on into the band a little bit later after Matt had started the whole thing, I think the things I like most about all of our songs are they're easily relatable. Like you jump right into the EP and right off from song one, like you just kind of connect with it. And I think that's beautiful.
I really agree with that because like going through and listening to the EP again earlier today, just to re-familiarize myself with it, like it's very approachable. It's like right from the very beginning, and it's new and familiar at the same time. It really hits like those notes of nostalgia of pop punk from the past, but at the same time, it's something new. So like in this, between the melodies and the riffs, like it just kept me going throughout the entire thing. And it's 6 tracks?
5
tracks.
Yep.
Tracks.
We
like
almost
from start to finish, it's like it's incredibly enjoyable, and like it's not like a bunch of like disjacent songs that are all put on an EP. Like there's an actual flow between every single one. And I just wanted to give you props on that, especially for a first album. Like it's got unbelievable continuity between all the songs.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that was something that I really wanted to focus on. Was not really I do love when bands kind of have 2 songs together where kind of there's like maybe a 5-second interlude that just falls right into the next one. I love when they do that. I didn't want to necessarily do that, but I wanted the key changes to kind of make sense. The mixture between aggression and chill out, emo stuff. We threw the interlude in the middle just because that's where it should go on an EP. And I don't know, we did an interlude on an EP.
Dude, I'm the same way though, but there's something about that classic structure, and with an intro, an interlude, an outro. I mean, even secret tracks, like it's not everybody's cup of tea, but I personally love that formula. I think every album I've ever put out has had an intro and an interlude. It's just
interludes are the best.
They are, because they're ideas that you could try something different. I mean, a lot of bands do like the electronic sort of, ones up, do like almost atmospheric drops and things, or you gotta, let's say like a pop punk band, they'll have like a big like breakdown, beatdown interlude, just for shits and tickles because they can.
Exactly. Yeah. Like with ours, we have Better Days as track 1, which was highly pop punk. I actually wrote that song. I'm a really big Loose Blood fan, and I forget what song they have, but it starts off and it's just one chord, just strumming, And I was like, oh, that's a really cool, it's just a bar chord, but it's really cool in a weird place. So I just took it and I moved it all the way down to 2. And then Better Days is 2 chords. And that's just kind of how like that song happened. But then, you know, the next song, Chasing Ghosts, is like more emo. It's really chilled out, but it still has those pop punk kind of palm muting chord progressions in the verse. And then Interlude, back to what we were talking about, is I wanted to do something that was just pretty weird. It's kind of like a brooding, dark song for no reason. Like you said, like just because.
I mean, it definitely reflects the time and feel of what we're all experiencing.
Yeah, and you know, my friend Zach, who plays guitar for us, when I brought all these songs to him, he was super instrumental, not pun intended, with coming up with like really awesome, like building on leads that I had or coming up with new ones. He's really good at filling a song out, where I was really good at kind of taking it beginning to end, structure it. It's like a kind of meaty skeleton, almost ready to go. You know what I mean? Lyrically, I always had all the melodies already written, because lyrics are just super important to me. I think that a song can be as simple as you need it to be, but if you know, the lyrics hit hard, then it's just super likable. And that's kind of a lot of pop punk songs. They're wicked simple, but they're super catchy because of those hooks.
And it's catchy, and it, like you said, like the lyrics are so important. And to some they might not be, but for me, they are. You know, because it really says a lot about the band and the personality, and that's really, I mean, I resonate with a lot of instrumental bands. Don't get me wrong, but like there are bands that are like will always be near and dear to my heart because like just the way that they happen to word a particular song. Like I'm like, oh, all those personal connections that we make to a band that this makes us fall in love with them. You know, so that's incredibly important. You know, and having it, you know, be relatable yet personal enough. Like it's always a line to find, you know, the right one. But with you guys, like I said, it was familiar and new all at the same time. It could hit the right notes of nostalgia, but I just, you know, kept going forward. It was like a great flow between it, and just lyrically, like you had me. You know, I was back, you know, aging myself here. You know, 2 decades, you know, back at the turn of the century. Oh God,
awesome.
Turn of the century pop punk. That's an interesting term because it was.
You
know, the late 90s to the early 2000s, like there was a massive shift in style, and then, you know, to easy core bands and stuff like that. So I always love seeing, you know, because there are tons of amazing pop punk bands, and there are some out there that sound and are trying to replicate others, but other ones that are just doing their own thing. And that's why I wanted to bring you on, because with Discordance, you're definitely doing your own thing. It sounds unbelievable, especially for your first EP. But like I said, it's familiar, it's new, it's comfortable, it's nice. And it's kind of like listening to one of your favorite bands again, like one of your favorite albums, because it's like it's that safe, comforting sound, and you nail it on your first attempt out.
Thank you, dude. Yeah, it's really funny that you said that, because when I had written everything, and I only say this because I brought Mark in after I had actually like released. I had released the EP,
so he like made the first EP, and then he was just kind of like looking for people to come on and play the parts. That's when he reached out to me, and I took a look at the album or the EP, and I was like, whoa, this is like new. This is like pop punk, but it's not pop punk. It's something new, but like weirdly nostalgic. And I was like, yeah, I'm totally into this.
He's the man. But when I did release it, and I would send the demos out to like a certain, I had like a group of friends that I would, when I was in the process of doing all this, you know, I'd send out like an unmixed demo or whatever, and being like, what do you think of this? And a lot of the reaction I got was, it sounds like old Blink. And I never wanted that. I mean, I'm fine with it. I love that, but it's not at all what I was trying to do. So the fact that you mentioned that it has that nostalgic feeling is, I feel like it's felt across the board, besides me.
It's new to
Maybe
you, but
because
that's the
it's so
thing
new
is,
to me doing it. But I'm glad. I'd rather it be that than anything else.
so you had put this this project together in quarantine, so you haven't got a chance to play out any of its material yet.
No, yeah. So as soon as I got, into furlough and everything kind of hit the fan, I was like, well, what the fuck am I gonna do? I have an infinite amount of time as far as I'm concerned, and I'm gonna go crazy. So I had, I hadn't touched music in a long time, and I was just like, all right, whatever. Maybe I'll write a song, and if I like it, I'll keep going. And I wrote Better Days, and I sent it to my old singer from my last band, who wrote like all the music for that band. So I kind of like look up to him as a musician. Tyler, he's just super talented. And he was like, yo, this is fucking sick, Original plan was it was going to be kind of a call and response vocal band like Blink. It was just going to be me and Tyler. But COVID, he lived in New York, so impossible pretty much for like continuity as far as like the recordings go. But he was a big helping hand in the whole process when I was in quarantine. And then I had finished that and I recorded vocals to it, and they were like not what they are now. As how things evolve. I rewrote every song probably like 10 times to get them to where I need them.
Final version number 2, final version number 3.
Yeah,
version, I swear this is the last one.
Some of them I was just naming like the stupidest shit. I was like fucking sick of it.
Eventually, after like the 7th, 8th, 9th mix down, you're like running in here, running to the car, trying to listen on every different thing, listening on your phone.
I had to record vocals,
testing it everywhere. You're like, there's too much low end now. Be like, fuck, now there's too much treble. Be like, where the fuck did that echo come from? I didn't even put it like, all right.
Yep, yeah. I have to run up like 3 flights of stairs, down them, up them, down them, up them. Yeah. Yeah. So basically that all happened. And I got a lot of good feedback on this really awful GarageBand recording that I wish I still had so I could play it right now, but I don't. I deleted every demo just because I shouldn't have. I regretted it almost immediately. But so yeah, I kept writing, and I wrote all of these songs. And as soon as I finished, my friend Zach, who I had known for about like 10 years now, hit me up, and he was just like, hey, I just like kind of like redid this like apartment, studio type thing. Very DIY, but like it worked, So I was like, he was like, are you still writing? And I was like, yeah, I just finished 5 songs. Like, how convenient, you know what I mean? So he took me on as actually his like first producing project. So that's what you hear at the final EP is his first time ever producing and mixing a record. He did phenomenal.
Really impressive because this does not sound like somebody's first attempt at mixing and mastering at all.
Yeah, his name's Zach Lemieux. Look him up. He's
dude, shout out to Zach. Fucking well done, dude. Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, we spent a lot of time on, guitar tones, drums, stacking different drums, everything. Bass tone, super important. Vocals, we changed like very few melodies actually, which I was pretty excited about because by the time I came in, we had and we wrote all the songs, I had these melodies that I really loved because I had spent months on them at this point. And we really, everything that you hear on there is pretty, nothing really changed that much, maybe 1 or 2 lines. But there was one song that I had that didn't make it and was replaced by Skydiving, which is the last song on the EP. And Zach actually wrote the instrumental to that. We did that whole song in a day.
Nice.
So yeah, we weren't messing around. There was nothing to do, so we were like, all right, let's just kind of bang them out as fast as we can. We decided we'd go there every week, and it was convenient because it's not an actual like studio. It was his apartment. So, we'd shoot the shit and record. And it was the least stressful time I've ever had recording. But yeah, no. So that's basically how the whole quarantine thing happened. We think we finished it all up in September. And we sent it to Josh Schroeder. I don't know if you know that name. He did The Color Morale. He does like a lot of really heavy bands, and he mastered the whole EP. And he did a great job. Yeah, so shout out to him too.
Another great band right there too.
Yeah, yeah, they are for sure. But yeah, so like that's kind of how everything came together with that, and then it was kind of like, all right, so it's time to start looking for people just in case something changes.
Things open up again, just so you're ready for it.
Exactly. Yeah.
When did the EP come out?
October.
In October?
Right before Halloween. It came out like the 23rd or something.
Nice.
I kind of we had been working on it for so long that we got the masters back finally. I was just like, fuck, I really just want to get this out because I've heard these songs 1,000 times. You know what I mean? And I just wanted other people to hear them. So, I built it up a little bit. I built up everything as soon as I came up with a band name. And so by the time that I actually released stuff, we had a little bit of a following. So it kind of like, it built up from there. It was nice,
And then since then, over to go ahead.
I think Mark was going to say something.
All I was going to say is like it's definitely a solo project, but he's like really good about like taking in comments, critiques, everything I have to say here. I feel is valued and like taken into consideration. Like it's a solo project, but like it really just feels like one big thing.
Big family effort.
And like the bass that was written, Mark always comes up with like really cool ways to do it and make it his own, which is cool. You know what I mean? Like if you're going to play live, you want it to be fun for yourself also. So
absolutely.
Always encourage that kind of stuff. But yeah, like I said, we had some growing pains, but we're getting back on track. We won't get into it. We're getting back on track.
That's that comes with the territory every once in a while, but no reason to throw any shade. So we've been obviously using the EP over the last 4 months to kind of just feel out getting the right members so that when things finally do open up that you are able to move forward.
Exactly. That way everybody that's involved feels exactly the same way. Which isn't easy, but you can get there. You can get there to an extent. And that's kind of where we are right now. So it's pretty nice. Yeah, like we know the whole EP. Like we've been playing it for so long. That is,
you got it down. Like, you got to completely down.
Riding the bike.
Yeah, we get together once a week and we just like fucking run right through it like it's nothing. So we're super excited to, perform them. But in the meantime, you just got to keep it sharp the best you can. I've been thinking up of some acoustic versions of stuff just in case, like I do know like some coffee shops and stuff are starting to do that kind of stuff.
But it's definitely hard in Rhode Island right now. That's for damn sure.
Yeah. It's hard. Yeah. It's over here it's awful, but you never know. I feel like if anything were to start first, it would be something like that.
Oh, absolutely. Those sort of cafe performances.
It
seems to be like all over the world with everyone I talk to. That seems to be like the small little niche that was allowed for a little bit. And then that'll be the first thing to come back is in small settings like that. So,
and it's just like another way to like build a fan base, even though it's not going to have the same impact at all because they're not, you don't have a bunch of crazy guitar, big sounding guitars and drums and stuff. But it's a way, like I said, it's a way to gain a following. And right now, without being able to play shows, that is such a difficult thing for bands to do without, you know, having management or a label. It's a constant grind without feeling like you're spamming.
Oh, absolutely.
So, you know,
Oh, absolutely. I feel that
line.
even having my own, you know, independent, you know, channel here, you know, it's, you know, like how much is too much, you know, am I spamming people? Am I spamming the wrong people? Am I doing this the right way? Like there's always that questioning and the checks and balances of everything when you're doing it all DIY,
absolutely.
you know? So,
and it's kind of tough because, like, you know, I'm in like all these groups, these pop punk groups and emo groups, which is, I believe, which I don't remember which group that I'd found you in.
I'm in so many, and I like post them weekly, but we found each other through a Facebook group.
Yeah, I think it was.
I find most people these days, or through Instagram.
It was one of those, but you know, like that's where else can you kind of really put your stuff and get people that are kind of into the same thing to listen to it and hopefully like it, and then, you know, maybe they throw it on a playlist and they're in their car with a bunch of friends and their friends hear it, and then
just
their friends
snowballs from there. And I think that's right now, I think that grassroots approach is like one of the best ones, because it's an organic way to connect with people that have a comparable interest to you, but in a completely different part of the world. You know, I think it's like one of the best options that we do have right now.
Yeah, you don't just feel like an asshole, kind of like just like constantly putting your stuff out there.
You know, trying to find the best ways for DIY advertising, working on your stuff. What can we expect next from Discordance?
A lot. So right now, yesterday, we're almost finished filming a music video for Better Days.
Nice.
Yeah, it's me in it. Excuse me. And it's a really cool concept. I'm not gonna say anything about it.
We like surprises around here, so
yeah. So it's coming, and probably mid to late February, I want to drop it. So we have that, which is super exciting, and then we already have 4 new songs written completely. Everything's done. They just need to be mastered. And we have 5. We actually have 5, but one of them I haven't put vocals on it yet. Hardly. I say it's a story. I went there to do vocals one day, and I took edibles, and I shouldn't have.
Oh.
And
they'll fucking get you, man, every time.
Yeah, they were dummies, and I wrote the melody, and I just could not come in on time, and I was just like, nah, not today. It was a bad idea.
Oh man. So you can expect a music video towards the end of February, which is perfect because that's right for my birthday. So
awesome.
Obviously have to let us know when it's ready to be shown so we can share it with all the mixtapers here.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah. I'm super excited about it. I think it's going to be the dude I'm working with, Jeremy. He goes by Rome. You can check him out too. He comes up with really cool ideas, and it's a pretty cool idea. You know, Better Days is kind of about the I don't think I mentioned this yet, but the whole EP is about addiction. Largely because I used to have a drinking problem. So I quit it, and then I was like, all right, what's a good way to kind of get all these feelings out that I have that I can't really share? And I did it throughout the EP without really talking about it. So that way it can be used for people with depression, you know, anxiety, addiction, relationship issues. It's all very open for interpretation. I kind of wanted to do it to help people out, to make them feel better, but the songs are sad, so I don't know if that is helping. Tell me.
I think personally, I'm the type of guy that I prefer listening to a sad song to help me out of a bad way. So I think it's very therapeutic and cathartic.
Depression never goes away. But there's healthy ways to kind of cope with it. And I found this to be a healthy way. All of Discordant songs are really dark. Some of them really don't sound that way, but lyrically they are all very, they're not, there's no enlightenment. There's no light at the end of the tunnel. But I that's what I'm into writing. It makes me feel better. I don't know if it makes people feel worse, but either way, if it makes people feel something, that's cool.
And I think it definitely does. And at the end of the day, I think you're definitely resonating well. You definitely got me hook, line, and sinker because I dig it. And I think all the mixtapers here tonight are going to be pretty stoked to be able to check out a good chunk of the album. So before we take a little break and check out some music, where can we find you online?
We are on Facebook at, I think it's just Discordance. Instagram is Discordance RI, and we are on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, and YouTube.
So we'll be back. We're gonna check out some tunes, and then we'll be back to run the gauntlet that is known as Mixtape Malarkey.
Here we go.
Thanks for hanging out.
Thank you.